going on, guys? It's your boy John the Liquidator coming back with another video. Look like Shaduer Sanders is making news in Cleveland, bruh. So, word on the street, according to the fans, the Shaduer Sanders fans, is that Shaduer Sanders possibly could be making his way to Cleveland. Now, we've been hearing this notion for a little bit that Shaduer Sanders could be possibly joining the Browns. Now, I want to be the first one to tell you this. I ain't no credibility to any of this that he's going. It's just like conversation, barbershop talk. Now, I don't know if there's any backdoor deals been going on with Shaduer Sanders, but there has definitely been, some trending topics coming up with him doing his Twitch thing, and he has definitely made his mark on the Twitch platform. Let's listen to one of these clips. Shout out to JK over on Twitter for sharing this. Let's listen.
Real. Bro. See, this.
Fam, you supposed to be watching this video.
Bro, the mic's off.
The mic's on.
This what I'm saying. Like stuff like this, bro, is like why it be weird, bro. Cause like, look, they'll take that and be like, oh, he doing what he did in the interview.
But that's good though.
Brody, no,
that was funny.
That's not who I am, bro. That's the easy misconception. He really put me on mute.
People are gonna take things out of context, but when it's something that funny what you did, it's kind of okay because that's playing off of them taking everything out of context.
So
Shaduer,
see this.
Fam, you supposed to be watching this video.
So Shaduer pulled up on his brother podcast, and it has since went viral. I don't have the full Twitch clip. You guys can check that out by subscribing to Shaduer Sanders'
soundbite
account. And did he speak about joining the Browns? He has been pulled, like he showed up to Browns games pretending to be Shaduer. I think it'll be super dope because if they land him, there's a very high chance that Coach Prime would go coach the Browns. He said it verbatim. He would love to coach both of his sons again.
I did not give him that idea. Maybe I did, maybe I didn't.
So this is Shilo wearing the Browns jersey. I think it's pretty dope. You know what I'm saying? I think it'd be great to see the brothers playing together again. Now, we have to shift our focus to another story, and that is the Browns quarterback situation, because we know they like to throw names in a hat and pull a name out the hat. And this is another day, another episode of what the hell the Browns are going to do next, man. Because I don't know, man. They saying J.J. McCarthy, which we reported on that the other day. They're talking about smoke and mirrors with Deshaun Watson. I don't know, man. But let's listen to 92 The Fan right now.
And I told everybody how funny it was that I hit you up yesterday. Like, hey, bro, can you do a hit in the morning? And Dane was like, yeah, I kind of already talked to Spencer at that moment. I realized that there was a communication gap between
something's
me
wrong with our phones, man. I don't know what it is.
and my co-host. But Daniel, bro, man, I know you're busy. I thank you for your time this morning. This is my first question for you because the last 2 weeks, you follow me, you see it. I've been kind of coming out here saying that this is the realistic plan for the Cleveland Browns at quarterback. Your room is Shaduer Sanders, Deshaun Watson, Dylan Gabriel, possibly whatever rookie developmental quarterback that they add in a draft. We spent the last month or so, this show, this station, other places talking about the possibilities of a Malik Willis or Kyler Murray or a trade for Mac Jones, etc. Maybe I'm crazy, but I feel like that this was the plan all along. How do you see it?
I don't know if I'm going to go as far as to say, like, that was the plan. Now, you got to remember, like, after the season ended, Andrew Berry did say, like, we're going to explore the quarterback market because we have to. And honestly, I think that, I've only been here for now 2 seasons, 2 years, but I feel like for the most part, Andrew Berry's been like fairly forthcoming. Like sometimes he throws you a little okey doke, like the Travis Hunter, Ohtani, the unicorn stuff, and he kind of pulls one over you. But like for the most part, I feel like he's fairly forthcoming and pretty honest about where the team is and what they're doing. So when he said, we're going to explore the quarterback market, like I thought that was a pretty genuine statement. Like, of course they're going to look at what's out there, but then like you kind of looked at what the landscape was, like Malik Willis, Kyler Murray, Tua Tagovailoa. Like it was a mixture of like players that the Browns probably weren't going to be as interested in as at their price market, and vice versa with Malik Willis. Some guys, kind of retrade guys in Tua and Kyler who probably weren't going to be as interested in coming to Cleveland. And then I remember what really stood out to me was at the combine in late February, and obviously Spencer was there as well. He probably will remember this as well. I asked AB specifically, do you think you'll be able to get a starting caliber quarterback in free agency?
Yeah.
And he said TBD. And I thought that was really interesting because if you ask AB, like, do you think you can get, multiple quality starting offensive linemen in free agency? I think he probably would have told you, like, I think that there's going to be some realistic additions for us and that we're going to target. So when he said TBD on bringing in like a legitimate free agent starting quarterback, that's when I was just like, I don't know. I think that, realistically, to your point, realistically, the best pathway, the best pathway for the Browns in this current roster and the shape of this roster for them to contend is for one of these incumbent guys to take off. And really you're looking at Shaduer because he's younger. You saw some flashes this past year. Like that is in an ideal world for the Browns, that is their pathway to contending in 2026 and beyond. The question is, is that realistic and possible? And I think that, obviously the first and second wave of free agency has passed. No quarterback has been added. The only other real logical way for them to add a quarterback is through the draft, but they're not going to get Fernando Mendoza. We'll see about Ty Simpson and some of these other guys. But really, I think that this current quarterback room is what we're looking at when we talk about a quarterback competition and who's going to lead this offense in 2026.
So I guess off of that sort of last part of that answer, Daniel, one thing we know about this Browns team is Andrew Berry and his staff, they like to carry 4 quarterbacks in the offseason. So as you kind of project out where they could find another one, do you think that could come from a signing of a veteran late? Do you think the draft is the more likely possibility? And also, what does all this mean, you think, for Dylan Gabriel in the long run?
Yeah, I tend to think, and it's just really just more a guess on my part, is that they're going to look at the draft. I mean, I honestly don't even know who's out there left in terms of like a veteran quarterback. And if you bring in anybody, like I think Jameis Winston is still out there and he's been with Todd Monken, but it's like, I don't know, any type of veteran quarterback that you bring in, like I don't know that you want to take away the reps that you really want to give to the guys that are going to be competing. And obviously we're looking at Shaduer and Deshaun Watson. And obviously Dylan Gabriel's kind of become the forgotten man. I also asked as well at the combine, like, would you listen to any calls on quarterbacks, on any of your quarterbacks? And, AB kind of gave a pretty standard boilerplate answer, like, hey, like we're always, listening and we'll always at least hear out a call. But yeah, I mean, it's Dylan's kind of left in a weird spot because on the outside, nobody really talks about him. And that just kind of lends you to think that internally, that he's maybe not a priority. And obviously there's the kind of the context of, that really being a pick that was heavily influenced by Kevin Stefanski, who's no longer there. So it is going to be interesting to see like kind of how Dylan shakes up because it's kind of been laid out as, at least externally through the media, as Deshaun versus Shaduer. But when Todd Monken has talked about this quarterback room, he has always thrown in Dylan in there as well. But it is going to be interesting because just like on the surface, nobody kind of really is factoring Dylan in this, and he's still on the team right now.
Daniel, when you look at the upcoming draft, and you've been here for a few seasons now, so you've kind of grown familiar to what Andrew Berry's process may or may not be. But as you stand right now today on the 21st of March, what is your gut telling you that is what's more likely to happen? The Browns stay at 6 and draft either a lineman, wide receiver, best player available, or they actually trade out of that 6 spot down to 12 or lower?
My gut tells me that right now that a trade is possible, And you just, I think back to last year when they had the second overall pick. And again, like, I think that AB made very, very pointed and like he chooses his words very carefully. And I look back, especially with the context of them trading out of the pick to possibly get Travis Hunter. He talked about, months before, he talked about using the second overall pick and getting the most value out of it, whether that was using it to pick a player, to trade for a player, to trade back. And ultimately they traded back to 5 to get the extra first rounder in this year's draft, as well as some other draft compensation. And I just think that, like, this is a draft that's not, like, full of, like, as many maybe blue chip prospects as in years past, and especially on the offensive side of the ball, where the Browns are probably going to target that 6th overall pick. Like, I don't think that there's a surefire wide receiver like a Jamar Chase or a Malik Neighbors, where like, hey, if that guy's at 6, we're running the card up, or even an offensive tackle like a Tristan Wirfs or a Penei Sewell, where it's like, all right, if that guy's there, we know for sure we got a decade-long Pro Bowl, All-Pro type lineman. So I just think, like, obviously you need a trade partner. You need somebody that's really incentivized to move up, or really wants to move up, has an appetite for that. But my gut tells me that, like, if Andrew Berry's trying to get the most value out of 6, he's going to really be working those the phones to see if he can move back to maybe like a 10 or a 12, and then you still pick up an extra third rounder in this year's draft, and you can get whether it's still a Monroe Freeling, or if that's not the route that you're going wide receiver, you can still get one of the top 3 wide receivers in this draft.